Alright, so hey, I'm gonna do a stream of Phantasy Star III, Generations of Doom. So for those of you who aren't familiar, this is the third game in the Phantasy Star series. It does some different things. It's got a generation system, so which means you progress through the story, and through various points, on two occasions you choose who you want to marry, and you continue playing and play the next protagonist. So for this one, I've already completed 2 endings, and I have 2 more to do, so I'm just going to kind of capture the last ones here and go from there. Okay, just gonna go ahead and start a new game. Well, not a new game, but I'll start with Crys. Okay. So we're just starting off with the journey of Crys. He is one of the 3rd generation protagonists here, and he's been sent back to the Alisa 3 to stop a evil Layan who has arisen after 1,000 years. Pulled him out of cold sleep and everything, and I'm trying to remember specifically where I'm supposed to go. The people are panicked because even robots are attacking them right now. If you're not familiar with the background of Phantasy Star III, there are 2 peoples in the world, Orakians and Layans. Orakians use robots, Layans create basically genetic monstrosities, and they use them as proxies to fight. They're banned from killing one another due to their commands of their respective heroes, Orakio and Laya, who founded their societies about 1,000 years ago. Though you're quickly going to find out as I play through this is already 2/3 of the way through the game, that we have found out that not only is the world we live on a spaceship, but Orakio and Laya actually weren't trying to fight at all, and united against a vague, dark threat that they sacrificed their lives to seal. And now it looks like it's going to be unsealed. And this character, Crys, has been sent by his parents from a moon satellite to look into what's going on here. And so, off we go. Starting out here in the oh, I'm sorry, not a moon satellite. Yeah, he starts out in on the ship, on the world ship Alisa 3. Okay, so let me get to some fights here. This game has a very high encounter rate. Fortunately, things are pretty easy to deal with. Robots and dinosaurs fighting together, it's real chaos. There we go, Ren gained a level, that's great. I'm accompanied by these 2 androids, Miyu and Ren. Unlike everybody else, they're robots and don't age, so you gain them at the very beginning of the game and they don't go away. Oh, and this place got blown up. Totally forgot, so nobody here can tell me anything. So, I'm gonna check a little monitor here. This is the world map that the game gives you. And you get, so as you see here, there are a total of 7 worlds, which correspond to the shape of the spaceship here. And I'm pretty sure I know where I'm supposed to go, so I'm just gonna head over in that direction. More robots. Already, Miyu's taking some hits. I'll have to heal her in a second. Okay, so let's just have Miyu heal herself up here real quick. It's really easy to breeze through these fights, and while none of them are individually very hard, your HP can whittle down real quickly if you're not paying attention, and suddenly, before you know it, somebody's dead. You know, physical attacking is pretty strong in this game. You really don't waste a whole lot of time with magic, or at least I don't, unless it's to heal people. The battle system is not one of its strong points. It's a pretty significant step down from Phantasy Star II in terms of art design, animations, and everything. This game is very much a black sheep of this, considered a black sheep of the series by most Phantasy Star fans. Its main point of interest is the plot is fairly ambitious, much more ambitious than the game can really do justice, and the generation system is interesting. It's kind of the prototype of stuff you would see develop later on in titles like Rogue Legacy, where you're playing as your descendants and what have you, and Dragon Quest V also takes this idea of following a family's journey and executes it much better, I think. And I can't remember if this came out around the same time or after or before this game, which I believe came out in, I want to say 1991 in Japan. Come on, where's that cave? I know it's somewhere around here. There we go. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Or at least we were. There we are. Oh, of course, right before I set foot. Okay, let's heal up before I step in there. I don't want to use all my magic. I'm pretty sure I should have some items to heal with. Great. One for you. One for you. And one for you. Great. Alright. Great, now we've upgraded to weird harpy womans and strangely sexy martial arts androids. Okay. I want to make sure Ren hits the back row. Okay. They surprised me. It's always a pain in the butt. You just had to finish off with that forecast, didn't you, you little bastard? Oof. I hope Miyu doesn't get killed before I finish this. Okay, thank God. Whew. Glad she has some dimates on her. Okay. And great, got a do ribbon. That should be an equipment upgrade for Miyu. Let's get that on right now because she needs all the help she can get. Actually, that was worse. Okay, let's put what she had back on. There we go. I hate these spell animations. Okay, cannon. That might be better for Ren. Let's see. Alright. Gotta give it to him first. Nope, nope, not better. A lot of this stuff is actually intended for the second gen character, but since I played a second gen character who did not go through this dungeon originally, so it's all old gear. Go, that's wiped out. Okay. And before I exit, I'm going to go up north here to grab some loot. I believe there's a shield a little bit up north before the exit. It's probably not going to be valuable to me, but yeah, I can sell it for money. There it is. Okay. Now we can go. Right after we get our butts kicked by these robot Shenlis. Oof. Okay, that should hopefully last us till we get to the next town. Okay, thank God. You might wonder what those little temple things looking are. We will find out what those are later. They are important to getting around eventually, but right now we can't use them. Alright, civilization. So we've arrived in the world of Elysium, and if you want to know how I know it's called Elysium, it's because I looked it up online. Because the game, not even in the documentation, ever actually tells you what the world's name is, so I'm not sure where they get this from. We do know what the cities' names are. This particular city is called Divisia. But yeah, not really clear to me on where the world names came from, but they do get around somehow if you search online. Well, I guess it's more accurate to call them domes rather than worlds. This lady will give us a place to sleep and save the game, but we don't need to do that just yet. Actually, let's go ahead and do it anyways. Okay. See what this lady has to say. On the other side of the castle lies the southern half of Divisia town. Leave there and head across the river to find the true pilots. True pilots, they're referring to the people whose job it is to steer the vast world ship that this game takes place on. A lot of empty towns, empty buildings in this game, kind of demonstrating how unfinished it really was, which is a true shame. You know, it's a very flawed game, but it could have been better. Just restocking my item stores here, always a good idea. This is a very strangely designed castle. You actually have to go through the dungeon to get through it, because originally when this game was this town was designed for the second generation character whose offspring this is not. It's hard to explain. Basically, this was designed as a dungeon, and it stays a dungeon even though it's not a dungeon anymore in this timeline. And you see, this lady's talking about Lord Orakien, who is a character we have not heard of until now. He will be very relevant later. And this guy is very fascinated with Ren, letting us know that with submarine parts he can dive beneath the waves, with sky parts he can soar through the clouds, and with marine parts he can sail over the ocean. So they say, a truly all-purpose robot. Surely there are a lot of popular action figures of him in this world, with according attachments. Have you heard? Lord Orakien has resurfaced in this world, they say. Lord Orakien is Lord Orakio's twin brother, and he is our new god. I mean, that guy wasted no time in kind of jumping on this Orakien dude's dick. But yeah, he'd never even been brought up throughout the entire game storyline before, but apparently he's been chilling all this time, just kind of waiting 1,000 years for you to show up. Okay. So even though this place is weirdly designed, the one thing they did that was nice is, although when you're playing through a second-gen character, this dungeon has monsters and stuff, now it does not, so you just can walk through it fairly leisurely. Let's see what we got here. Antidote. Poison is actually a pretty annoying condition in this game. It doesn't drain your health, but it does make you. It does make it impossible for you to heal. until you remove that condition. And even better, unless you have antidotes, your only backup is to cast the spell Anti, and healing spells, aside from ones that directly heal your health, spells that remove conditions like poison and death, they can fail. And Anti, I find, fails quite often, so often having some antidotes is really the best way to ensure that your characters will not be afflicted with poison for an entire dungeon. Okay, that is now behind us. Do we even have submarine parts? I'm trying to remember if we got them already. It doesn't look like we do. No. Okay, so we have to find those still. And I think I recall where. Yep, see? Just empty house. Signed from the developer saying, I owe you at least 2 or 3 NPCs, and we're supposed to be hanging around here. Oh, let's see what this guy says. Oh, I missed him. There were once some who opposed Loon in a cave far to the west. It seems they were hiding a machine that would enable one to search for the treasure of the desert world. I'm pretty sure it was a diving machine. Wow, that sounds a lot like the submarine parts that other dude just told us about, so now we know where to go next. People of the village of Arone to the west are those who set the course of this ship. With Laya's treasure, wonder what that could be, you could cross over to that village. Okay, so one thing I should definitely do before we set off is probably sell some of these items. Let's see, I can sell the shield. Nope, yeah, I do not want to sell that, and even the townsperson knows it. Okay, now we can keep those. What about Mia? Does she have anything we want to sell? We can sell this old vest. We want to hold on to this silver band, but we can sell this dew ribbon. Okay, what about Ren? He's got some pieces we can sell, like this cannon right here. Oh yeah, got a good piece for that. Okay. Just didn't mean to finish that. Let's see if there's anything I want to buy. Nope, this is all outdated material. That's fine, we seem to be doing pretty okay. Okay, so now that we're on the other side of this town, let's go ahead and make another save. It is very beneficial to save often in old RPGs, because you really never know when some shit is just gonna screw you. Okay. Alright, so let's get our bearings here, consult our map, which is not super helpful on a whole lot of other worlds, but at least gives a sense. I believe they said that cave was to the west, so we'll have to get probably west of those mountains there where we're beeping here. Okay. Get a load of this dude. Seems like he might have wandered out of a Choaniki game. Go again. Oh, now we got this guy in 2 different shades. But they both go down real easy. Phrasing. Kind of creepy how even the eye winks at you when he attacks. Of course. Alright, here we are. Really? Right as I was about to open the treasure chest? You bastards. Okay, Dawn Helm. That sounds like something that should be cool, right? Let's see if that's any better than what I have right now. No, just barely not better, really. It's hard to beat Laconium materials, though. Laconium is kind of like adamantium or mithril as far as famous metals go in this series, so generally when something's made of Laconium, that's going to be a really good piece of gear. Oh shit, Mew is very much worse for the wear. See what I mentioned about having to pay attention to people's health? It will bite you in the ass. As you can see, some of these enemy designs get very abstract. Like, what the hell even is this floating stone platform in the background with little balls hanging around it? I don't know. And why does its bottom chin wiggle? Mew, why do you take so much damage? Okay, great. More stuff to sell. Okay, let's go around here. Got a feeling there's some more treasure this way. Okay, now everybody's a little bit low now, so let's do something about that. No, not you. Then we'll need some dimates here. There we go. Okay, let's see. That might be good for Ren, unless he has Laconian gear. He does not. He has steel gear, and I believe ceramic should be an upgrade. Did I give him a band instead of the gear? Jesus. Alright. And he's down. Now I've just got to gradually make my way through more insane encounter rate. Hooray! Subparts! Now, Ren can dive underwater in what is a dramatically limited scope of travel. Really, it only gives you access to 2 parts in the entire game, but they are critical. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh. Ah, seriously? Laser Claw. And Laser Sword. That sounds like it should be cool, right? Let's see. Laser Sword is probably not better than the Laconian Sword, but let's see just to be sure. No, wow, it's really not better. Okay. Well, maybe the Claw will be a net gain for me. Let's see. Not over the Laconian Claw, but it might be better than the Grief Claw. Oh, nope, it's not. Alright, that's fine, just more vendor fodder. Let's see, do I have an ocarina? It's an item that lets you escape out of a dungeon immediately. I don't think that I do. Nope, so I'm just going to have to walk back out. Okay, no big deal. I mean, these guys think it's a big deal, but they don't know that they die real easy. Let's heal everybody up. Ooh, 29, that was not pretty. Usually they don't hit that hard. Alright, now until almost before the end of the game, you pretty much have to walk everywhere. It's a bit of a pain. One thing I will give the game is that while the battle system is very generic and not particularly exciting at all, the fights are at least fast. Like, never really does any kind of fight last more than 1 or 2 rounds, unless it's a boss fight. So that's one thing I can say in the game's favor. You gain levels constantly too, so much that it actually feels a little bit pointless. Definitely don't pay too much attention to that. I still have no idea what these guys are supposed to be. Mutated bodybuilders, I guess? Maybe the Layans just kind of got a little bored. It's like, hey, why don't we make them blue this time? Actually, maybe he's supposed to be like a genie, I guess. He doesn't really have a lower half. Maybe that's the idea. Sorry, your pecs are admirable, but they're apparently no match for Laconian steel. Yep, wrong way. Alright, let's take another quick nap here. Chris is already level 5. He's growing up so fast. And let's go ahead and sell off some of the loot we got here. There we go. Yeah, accruing this cash will come in handy later because although this may seem like a lot of money, the endgame gear is quite expensive. I want to hold on to that. Somebody's gonna need that, possibly. Oh, forgot to buy more items. So if you had been watching earlier, the NPC dialogue from the townspeople had mentioned that something called Laya's treasure was hidden in the desert world, and that to find it, we would need to be able to dive underwater, and that's what the subparts are for. So now I'm gonna have to make my way from this world, Elysium, to the Iridia, desert world of Iridia, which is the center dome of the world ship this game takes place on. And I know for sure that to get there, I have to go back to my starting world of Landen, but I think I may be able to get there directly from here. There might be a shortcut. I'm not 100% sure, but I am gonna try it. First, I have to get through this pointless dungeon, though. At least I don't get attacked. Oops. Yeah, even among people who play Phantasy Star, this is not a game that's really anybody's go-to. Yeah, I've actually been playing through the classic Phantasy Star games all summer, and I wish I'd had the idea to start streaming them earlier when I was actually playing Phantasy Star 1 and Phantasy Star 2, but those have already been beaten. And I've already gotten 2 endings for this game, and then I'm going to get 2 more, whereupon I can finally start Phantasy Star 4, which is the game that I'm really looking forward to, actually. Okay, so let's see. Do I get a shortcut here? Oh, seriously. Always right before the caves. Poisoned. Okay, no, this is not the desert entrance. It goes somewhere else. So I'm gonna have to backtrack across the first world. Where's my antidote? There we go. Yeah, I have very fond memories of renting Phantasy Star 4 as a kid. I never did get to beat it. I played it a little bit later once I really got into emulation and stuff like that, but somehow I just never got around to finishing it back then either, so it'll definitely be a first to me to play through the whole thing. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I believe it's this way. Okay, don't die on us now, Miu. And for good measure. One thing that takes a lot of getting used to with Phantasy Star, if you haven't played it before, is that the spell names are just kind of totally different. They don't correspond really to any kind of traditional RPG fantasy structure, because this isn't quite a fantasy game. It's a science fantasy game, really. Probably most analogous to Star Wars or something like that. So the spell names are just called all kinds of things. The heal spell, what would be called a cure in Final Fantasy, is called res here, and res, and sar is a spell that here it heals everybody. Like fire is foy, water is su. It takes some getting used to. Not that it matters though, because you really don't use anything but healing spells in Phantasy Star 3 because physical attacks are just so much better. There it is. Okay, great. Now we just gotta make our way over to the desert. Oh, can't quite fit through there. This is gonna be a long road. Caesar's ghost guest starring here. I could probably try running away from battles more often, I suppose, but as a longtime player of classic RPGs, it's just not in my nature. I very rarely run away from a fight, usually because failing to run away is always such a huge pain in the ass and feels so punishing that I never want to do it. And fights are over real quick in this game, never more than 2 rounds. Okay, now that we're at the bridge, we've come about halfway across the world dome of Landon to where we need to be. Seemed like it took forever, though we're still not there yet. Let's stop here real quick just to take a quick heal. Let's see if the townsfolk have anything interesting to say. Welcome to Yatta, the port city. Nah, not so much. One thing is, the dialogue does at least change from generation to generation. It seems that someone is directing the monsters and robots to attack the populace. Someone not Layan nor Orakian. Well, that seems suspicious. Somebody's up to no good. Though I do wonder where that guy got that information. There we go, our ticket to the desert world. Okay. I do like these more human-type enemies that seem to be kind of based a bit out of Greek mythology. You find harpies and things like that along occasionally. It kind of suggests that where the Orakians went into robotic technology, the Layans kind of started doing genetic experiments on creatures that were brought with the world ship and probably their own human species as well. It's an interesting to consider that the game, of course, simply doesn't go into, partially because there's no time and just because that was probably too sophisticated a storyline for a 1991 game. But it's interesting to think about. And while I was thinking about that, Crys almost died. Alright, that was quick and painless at least. Let's see, I believe we're kind of dead north, but let's see, this is one of the times when the monitor is useful. Okay. That's a freaky robot. It looks like a robotic mouse or something with legs. Evil Bullwinkle here has been with me since the game started. I see him pop up in every map. Oh, look at this. This is a mad android wandering the desert. She's mentioned in the only town this city has, this world has rather, and let's see what she says when we talk to her. Oh, you are Lord Orakio. I've been waiting to see you for... No! You're not Lord Orakio! You don't have his black sword! Oh, where is my Lord Orakio? So yeah, she's been wandering the wastes of the desert for 1,000 years looking for her lost master. She will be important later on, but for now, there's not much she can do for us. There we go. And we come to the town of Hazatak here, both rare and forgotten, yet somehow populated by very loyal shopkeepers, the only humans in this entire town. Just gonna save real quick. Okay, so now we have to find Laya's treasure, and spoiler, it's really right here at the base of the spring here. If you talk around in town, somebody will mention that there's an overflowing source of water you have to investigate, though really, in terms of the map, it doesn't look any different than it always has. So I actually found it by complete accident the first time by just doing that. As you can see, Ren's showing off his action toy merchability here. This is just one of his 3 forms. There's an underground waterway. I will follow it and dive below. Gasp! You've surfaced in another world, hidden beneath the desert dome. So, one other positive thing I can mention about Phantasy Star III is it has a very good, very memorable main theme, and this is the only part, aside from the opening, where I believe that you hear it. And it's actually kind of a nice little remix of it that adds some nice flourishes in there, and it's very pleasing to listen to. But you only get it in this very brief little overworld section here. I'll just let it play for a little bit longer. It's nice. Okay, let's go grab Laya's treasure. Bunch of old men in here. Let's see what they have to say. 4,000 years, from generation to generation, we have protected our sleeping beauty. Oops, let's go through that again. Over the ages, she has awoken for only 1 month every 7 years. The sleeping princess is the younger sister of the legendary goddess Laya. Her name is also Laya. Funny coincidence. The goddess of legend. Laya gave her younger sister her own name. Lady Laya entrusted the future of 1,000 years hence to her young sister. If you wish to learn the truth, use Lady Laya's Star of Mystery to unlock the southwest cave and head for the world of snow. Okay, so Laya's treasure is actually a person, her younger sister, who has her name and looks just like her, as we will find out in just a second. My name is Laya. I am the younger sister of the Laya who ascended into legend. I inherited my name from my elder sister, the Laya who fought Orakio. I was still very young then, so I don't remember much about my sister. But the image of her leaving at the side of a knight with a black sword remains with me to this day. I wish to learn the truth about my sister. Please take me with you to the outside world. Laya joined the party. Great, we're now 4. So Laya is a very effective healer, so she is the person who generally carries the brunt of the healing. She's unusual for also being the only person who attacks with a bow, which is kind of like Ren's guns, except she doesn't have any versions that can target all enemies like Rey does, and they're a little weaker on average. But like Rey, she can target enemies in the back row, even if there's stuff still in front of them. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go over to the technique store here and max out Laya's healing spells. You can do a little. It's kind of weird. You can basically make spells, or techs as they call them in this game, stronger, and it's through this kind of abstract little grid here. So if you see how the colors or shapes correspond to the text on the side. So if I do this, it means Res and Sar get stronger, while Rever, which brings you back from the dead, and Ante get weaker, and that's fine. It's pretty rare for people to die in the game, and you can just spam Rever until they come back to life. Now I'm going to do one more save, and that's where I'm going to call it for tonight since it's midnight and I need to be closing up. So thanks for those of you who came by to watch. I'll probably be doing this again tomorrow night at some point, probably around, I would suspect, 9 or 10 Pacific time, in case you want to come back in and watch around then. But it'll also be up as an archive. So, yep, that's me signing out. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, I'll be back.